Hi guys, welcome to another video of Shut and Rajesh. Today we have the new MacBook Pro with us. Right now getting our product in hand is very difficult. Like I was in Dubai, you guys I think have seen the last video, and I got the product, the M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro. It was the last product in the store, and online it's about 4 or 8 weeks delivery. And India, the vendor that provides me, they don't have any stock of M1 Max 16-inch laptop. But let aside the 16-inch, today we are going to talk about the 14-inch. This is the 14-inch MacBook Pro. And honestly, if I give you my initial impressions and what I have been using this laptop for, I think for 90% people out there, this is going to be the laptop that you should buy. There are a lot of reasons that we'll be talking about in this video. So first and foremost, I'd like to talk about the unboxing experience, because laptops still have an unboxing experience. It's not like mobile phone that you only get a cable and the phone. It still has the charger. This I think carries a 80 or 60 watt power adapter, which is the normal standard one that comes with M1 laptops. The only change that we get is 140 watt adapter, that is for the 16-inch MacBook Pros, not with this one. Also, you get the normal USB-C charging cables. You get black Apple stickers, which is like an indication that this is a Pro machine. You don't even get black stickers in normal M1 MacBooks and normal M1 MacBook Pros. You get that only in the Mac Pro and the Pro Display XDR, so stuff like that, and it is available inside the box. First thing, let's talk about what are the changes and what things Apple have changed. So this is a completely redesigned laptop. I mean, it's in the still same color and little Apple design, but a lot has changed here. Like the ports have returned. Earlier it used to be only USB-C. I'll be honest, I got used to using only USB-C. So most of my products that I use, like accessories like my card reader or anything I use has USB-C. But still it's good to have an full HDMI port on the laptop. Mind you, this is HDMI 2.0. not 2.1, but it doesn't matter. This is like a emergency connector for you. Like if you are somewhere where there is only HDMI cable available, so you can connect it and use it for the display or anything you want. We also have a card reader. That was a very requested feature by the pros and by creative professionals, but for me it's not of much use because I am using the Sony Alpha A7S3 I guess, and it has the CF Express memory card, so it won't fit in the normal card reader that the laptop has. So for that I am anyway using USB Type-C, but aside from me, a lot of people use the normal SD cards and it's very helpful for them. Now talking about the design changes on the outside, squarish as Apple's design team is following. The air vents at the bottom are bigger to intake more air. The bottom part is also different. Earlier the foot pegs used to be a little smaller, now it's bigger and more round and more prominent in short. And when you keep the laptop on a surface, it will give it enough height and enough support that it can get the air that it wants from the sides. One more thing that is back is the MagSafe port. I'm using the first laptop with MagSafe because the one that my first laptop was the 13 or 12-inch Apple, the slimmest Apple MacBook, which had Intel Core M or some processor without fan. It was a fanless design with Intel processor. I think it was launched in 2016 or 15. So that was my first laptop, and since then Apple has been using only USB Type-C in their laptop. So this is my first MagSafe Apple laptop and it's pretty good in my opinion, better than USB-C in a way. But if it had USB-C, it would have been easier, as I always had a USB-C in my bag, so charging it I don't have to carry a special cable. But I think I can, as being pros, we all can adjust with that. We anyways have been asking Apple for a MagSafe connector on the laptop. Also now the MagSafe wire that comes with the laptop is braided now, and just like we got with the iMac, the M1 iMacs. So I kind of like it, it's cool. I also have the lightning cable that came with the M1 iMac, that was the braided one. So I especially kept it. I don't have the machine, but I have kept the wire only. I liked it that much. It comes with that, because I remember when I was watching YouTube videos before 2015, when laptops used to come with MagSafe, there was a very big issue of the wire breaking on the point where MagSafe and the wire is connected. So that was the issue, and a lot of people's laptops actually had short circuit problem and a lot of problems because of that. So I think Apple addressed that, and I think it's going to be better than last time, but still you'll have to take care about the wire. Mind you, you can also charge the 14-inch with the USB Type-C port, like the older chargers if you have, you can still charge it with that. The 16-inch, you can still charge it with the Type-C port, but for fast charging, it requires the 140 watt brick that it comes with. It's a little chunky, we'll talk that about in the next video. Now moving on, let's talk about the changes in inside. The inside is also, I won't say completely redesigned, but the screen area is completely redesigned, and they have added a black colored panel on top of the keyboard. Earlier it used to be body colored, now it's a black panel on top of the keyboard. I'm not someone who has a very strong opinion about it. On the silver color, I like it. On the space gray, I don't. So it's a mixed feeling. Talking about the screen, I think I can now say this is the best screen I have used on laptop. Earlier it was XPS because of the OLED and everything. Now this one is the best screen I have used. I'll first talk about the notch because people have been going crazy about the notch, and notch is something that you get used to it. On the iPhones you got used to the notch, on the laptop you will also get used to the notch. And as the laptop's ratio is designed in such a way that even if you're watching a usual video on YouTube, it won't interfere with the notch. It's kind of placed like that so that it hinders the only top part of the screen, that is the Apple logo part and all the menu bar options, and doesn't affect a lot other side. Other than the notch, the major change is the bezel-less design, and I would still prefer XPS's bezel-less design than the MacBooks, but somewhere we have found the middle ground for Apple and it's still okay. Way better than what Apple used to make earlier, but still not there as the XPS, because I love XPS screens, the XPS design. The screen quality I still find better on the new MacBooks, but still XPS is better in terms of the screen design. Also, the touch bar is gone now. It's now full row functional keys. The touch ID buttons are a little bigger, and again same thing, I'm not very opinionated about it. Honestly, I used to like the touch bar because you can type with the predictions that was being shown there, so kind of helpful. But yeah, function keys are also helpful. I don't think that will make a lot of people, like, it doesn't matter a lot to a lot of people. But yeah, one issue with touch bar was because it was a software, it was a touch screen, so it was using software, and a lot of times the touch bar got unresponsive, or when it was under heavy load, I couldn't decrease the brightness or increase the volume. So in that way it's better now. Okay, now talking about the quality of the screen, this panel is great. It's mini LED, and one thing that I noticed as compared to iPad Pro is the bloom, that the light bleed issue on this is not as much as on the iPad Pro. Like, iPad Pro is very prominent. On this it's still there, it's evidently going to be there anyway, but it's better than the iPad Pro. Lot improved than the iPad Pro. And 120 Hz is just game changing. I have never used a laptop with high refresh rate. Like, I have used few laptops like the gaming laptops that Asus makes, but that was for a very shorter period of time. But when you start using longer periods for laptop with 120 Hz, ProMotion display is going to feel very, very smooth and very easy to use. The display that Apple has put in the MacBook Pro is inspired a lot from the Apple XDR displays. So now you can also expect peak brightness of 1600 nits for HDR content and 1000 nits peak brightness for normal content. Also, mind you can change the refresh rate. It comes with ProMotion enabled, but you can change it to as you want. I don't know why people would do that, but still it is there. And also you can choose the display profile, like it comes with the Apple XDR display settings, and then you can decrease it to Apple P3 or any display profile you want. So let's talk about the performance, because a Pro machine is meant to have good performance because pros are using it, so it makes sense. It comes with lots of bells, whistles and outside, like the change design, lots of port, better airflow in my view, and also the branding has changed. Now the MacBook Pro is written downwards, like on the bottom, not under the screen. Apart from that, now performance is something that is in my opinion crazy with M1. I remember talking to my friend when M1 event was going on. The M1 launched when Apple announced that they will be switching to their own chip before the laptops came, before the machines came, and the claims that Apple made, I was like, no, this is not going to be true, and it won't even compare it to what current processors are doing, because it's using a ARM architecture, not complete x64 architecture that's being used. So in my opinion, what Apple did with the M1 was crazy, and now they have done it again with the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. Naming scheme is a little iffy. I don't know why they named it like that. They could have gone with M1 Pro and M1 something different, but still it's a mouthful to speak. M1 Max. So it's a little difficult to speak, but other than that, the performance is just great. I have been using the 16-inch model for around 2-3 days now. I have edited lots of videos on it, and I have been using the 14-inch also for 2-3 hours. I have edited a short video on it, and I'll be very honest, the performance from M1 to M1 Pro is a slight jump, like 2 to 3x jump, but it feels a lot smoother. The heating and the everything issues that M1 had somewhere, because it didn't have that much powerful GPU. It always had the powerful CPU, but it lacked the powerful GPU. It is done here and it has a very powerful GPU. So you can do almost everything. I have also seen people gaming on MacBooks. Tell me down below in the comments if you want me to make a video about gaming on the MacBook. Other than that, the performance is just great. I don't have any complaints about the performance. There's nothing that I can tell you is wrong with the performance at the moment. There are a few apps still using Rosetta like WhatsApp and a lot of Adobe apps, but Rosetta is also perfect. So I think the laptop overall, in one sentence, if I have to tell you, it's a perfect laptop. It's the best laptop that you can buy in Mac. If you are someone who loves Windows and want to use a Windows laptop, then this won't be a consideration for you. But I don't know why you want to use Windows. There are lots of app specific users I know who want to use Windows, but other than that, Mac makes more sense, at least these days, with the performance improvements they have. So this is in any way not a full review. I'll be making a full review of the laptop very soon, and also comparing with the 16-inch and the normal M1 MacBook Pro and which one should you get. But as I told in the video in the starting, that this laptop makes more sense for 90% people out there. It's cheaper, stats at 195, not cheaper, but cheaper when you compare it to the M1 MacBook Pro, the 16-inch model. In my initial impressions, if you are in the market looking for a laptop, just go with the MacBook Pro, the M1 Mac 14-inch. You won't regret it. It's going to be a great machine and great investment for you. So I think we are done for the video, and I'll be making a lot of videos on the MacBook, and also sharing not the typical type of users, but for creative professionals and for everybody else. So stay tuned for that. We are also coming up with our own podcast. That will be a different channel where we'll be talking just tech stuff. If you are one of those nerds who like to listen to tech stuff, you can tune in. We'll be sharing the link as soon as we start. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys are safe, and hope you guys are getting vaccinated, because that's the only way to end the pandemic. Thank you so much.